fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. Today I have a video that I've kind of had cogitating in the back of my brain, and I've been trying to figure out how I wanted to put it together. And I think I have everything pulled together that I need that I want to show you. So what I want to talk about today is diamond painting trays. Trays are one of those things that I think everyone is in constant search for the perfect tray. And what might be the perfect tray for me may not necessarily be the perfect tray for you. So I kind of wanted to go through all of the different trays that I've tried, tell you what I like about them, what I don't, and kind of look at them and see how they work and or don't for me or possibly for you. So what I want to first start with is the basic green boat. And this is, something that you get in almost all the kits. Everyone probably has a million of these. I have a box filled of, Amazon box filled with just extras of these that I've collected because of all the paintings that I've done. And once I found something else, I don't really ever use these. In fact, most of the time, this boat and the pink pen, I don't use either one of them. I open the kit simply to get the wax out because sometimes I do use the pink wax. But this and the pink pens, the pens I might even use for some other projects that I have going on, but these really don't really get used for anything. So if you want some, let me know because Lord knows I have plenty of them. So I just have some drills here. Whoops. I'm going to kind of show you. So one of the things that you do when you get these is you pour your drills in there and then you kind of give them a shake to get them all to line up so that you can then place them. So you can see these are round drills. So round drills are just a teeny bit bigger than squares. Round drills are typically 2.8 millimeters, whereas the square drills are typically 2.5. There are some round drills that are smaller, but not very many companies use those. So you can see they get lined up here, and then you can pick them up and put them in your pen. But it's a very small tray, as you can see. It doesn't hold very much, and even though it's kind of got this little angle here at the top, you have to be very careful when you're pouring them back in to make sure that they don't go everywhere like that one just did. So for that reason, the green boat is not most people's favorites. So I mean, it's free and it is useful, but just not very many people's favorites. I think the next most common one is one like this that is just a plain white tray. This one is a little bit better because it has a funnel. So that helps you kind of tip drills back into the bag or back into the bottle, whatever container you're using, a little bit easier. Definitely, if you're using Tic Tac containers, you want something with a funnel like this because otherwise it just gets to be a nightmare putting them back in. So again, you do the same thing. You pour your drills out and then you give it a little shake and get them to line up. Now you can see this one, they lined up a little bit better than they did in the green one. And then you have your drills ready to go. So for this one, I just put my thumb here while I'm getting ready to kind of tap them to get them down into the funnel. And then I can put them all back in here. Now there is a trick where people have taken the little scrunchies that come with it. And they have little bumps. So you cut off one of the little bumps and then you can smush it in here so that none of your drills fall out until you want them to. So I use these a lot if I'm working on a painting that I don't have very many drills. For instance, my Diana, because typically when I pour out drills, I only need sometimes literally just one drill, or I may only need 5 or 6 of a color. And so having a small boat like this keeps everything kind of contained and manageable. So that's probably the second most common. Now, these two are, again, a little bit different. than the two we've seen, but kind of similar. So you've got these boats. Now, they don't have a funnel, but they do have an opening on the end here so that your drills can come out. And they are a little bit bigger, so they will hold a little bit more. And I've got them, I don't know why I have one in blue and one in green, but so again, you pour your drills in, give them a shake, get them to line up, and then you can pour them back in. Now, this funnel makes it in some ways easier and in some ways harder to get them to pour back in. So I can get them to pour back in here, but it could also be messy. And you just kind of either get these free if you get like several of these I've gotten on Amazon because I've geez, I can English, I promise, because I've bought a kit or a package that has several it's like a supply kit, and so you might get a couple of these. I don't know if you can just outright buy these somewhere. You probably can, but I don't think I've ever actually used these. I just don't like the open tip here at the end. For me, I spill things, as evidenced by my videos, way too often for me to just have a big opening like that. I'm going to have drills everywhere if I use that one. Now, one of the other most common ones you'll see is the next three that I'm going to show you, and these all came in a kit. And I will be putting links for these ones that you can purchase in the description below so that you can check them out. This one and the next three that I will show you all came together. So I will show you those. This one is square. I like this one because, as you can see, the walls, the side walls are a little bit higher. So, and it's quite a bit bigger. So it holds more drills than the other ones, as you can see. Now, the downside of this one is, even though it can hold more drills because it's got the big walls, is that once you get it all situated, so I've got them in here and you can see how nicely the drills line up. But once I've got them in here, then I have to get them back out. So this does have a pin rest. So for those of you who didn't know what this is, you lay your diamond painting pin here and it will fit down in there so it doesn't go flying, or you can just lay it there. Now it does only hold the pink pins or blue or white or whatever color you happen to get. So you can't put some of your fancy pins in there, but it does have a pin rest. So now I've got to try and get these all out of here and back into it. And because it doesn't have a funnel, it's probably going to get messy trying to get them all back in here. So I did spill one drill, so not as messy as it could be, but that's one of the reasons I don't really use this one at all, because I've got other ones that work better. So that came in a kit along with this one. And you can see how it's getting bigger. So the blue one was quite a bit bigger. If I go back to the green one at the very beginning, you can see how much bigger this one is. It's much longer and it's also wider, so it's going to hold more drills. Also, it's got a spout on it. So again, if you're using, containers like a bottle or using those Tic Tac containers, it's going to be a lot easier to get them back in here. So you just shake and then tip to get them all to line up. And I'm not doing a very good job of that, but you get the idea. So, and then again, I will just put my finger down here while I tip them so they don't fall out everywhere, and try and push them all down. Now, for this particular one, I will say for me, sometimes I feel like the drills kind of stick a little bit. And so you kind of have to push them down with your finger to get them back in the container. They don't always slide as easily as I would like. It's like that one doesn't want to go, so you got to push it with your finger. But it is a nice size and it does hold a lot of drills. The walls are definitely much taller than this one, you can see. It holds more drills. So if you're doing a big color or you're doing a big section of color blocking, then something like this is probably going to be better for you. So that one, the blue one, and then this one all came in a kit. And this one I call my dinner plate tray because it is ridiculously large. This thing is, let me just grab this and measure it. It is 24.5 centimeters, which is a little over 9.5 inches by 5 3/4 inches, which is 14.5 centimeters. So it is big. And you'll see, let me put some of these other ones in here. So here's the big white one. You can see how it fits in there. And then here's the little green one that we started with. I can fit that in there. And then here's one of these. I can fit that in there. And then here's that one. So I can fit all of those in this plate and still have room for more drills. Now, I don't really use this big one for anything other than catching drills when I'm kitting up or down, because again, it does have high walls, but there's no funnel. So trying to pour and get things back in them is difficult with this one. So this one is kind of more of a catch-all than anything else, but you can get the set of 3 of these off of Amazon, and I paid $10.94 for these. So not a bad price. I didn't think, for getting this big one, because this is the reason I wanted this. So then I got, and honestly guys, I don't even know where I got this one. This one came in a kit somewhere. And it again is just kind of like that green boat, but it is bigger. And I will say, for me, for a long time, this one was my absolute favorite, even though there is no funnel, because for me, it just makes the drills line up nicely for me. For whatever reason, I am able to shake this one and get my drills to line up very nicely for me. And so it quickly became one of my favorite trays, because for whatever reason, it just worked for me. And it didn't matter whether they were square or round, I could get them to line up nicely. And that, I think, is a learned skill when you're diamond painting, is to be able to get those drills to kind of line up nicely so that you can pick them up with your multiplacer. If you don't multiplace, then it's probably not a skill that you need to worry about. But for those of us who do like to multiplace, it can be a lifesaver to have a tray like that really works for you and how your hand works when you're putting, shaking the drills to get them to line up. So, and like I said, I don't know where this came from, but this was one of my go-to ones for a long time until I found one I liked better. Let's see. Then next, what I got was, and I haven't even opened some of these, it is a hinged tray. So it is pretty much the same size as this guy, but instead of a funnel, it has a hinged opening. So you press this closed, and then when you shake your drills, they don't go anywhere. And when you want to pour them back in, you open this and they slide in. Now, I will say, because this has little hinges right here, if you can see those 2 little things that's what keeps it closed. Drills can get caught on those when you're pouring them back into the container, so that can be annoying. And also, because this is just very inexpensive plastic, if you use this hinge a lot, eventually it will wear out. So I thought I would like these, but I ended up not liking them. Now, I will say they're not expensive. I got a set of 12, and they came in various colors. I got clear, I got white, I got blue, I got purple, and maybe green. There were 12 of them for $12.49. So basically a little over $1 a piece. I got 12 of these, and they hold quite a few drills. So if you like them, go for it. Then after that, I started getting into, I wanted to try 3D printed trays. I didn't want to just try the mass-produced plastic ones. I wanted to try some 3D printed trays. So the very first one that I got was actually a gift from my husband, and it is this one. It is from Wilson 3D Designs, and it's made so it's got little finger holds so you can hold it like this. And then you pour the drills in, and it has a little stopper here so that when you're ready to, it's got this little dome over it. You slide the drills down, and then you pull out the stopper and you pour them back into the container. And because we all know sometimes drills stick, it has this lovely little kind of broom with notches in it that match the notches in the tray, and you can just scrape them down. Now, I saw a YouTuber using this when I very first started diamond painting, and I decided I was going to stick with this as a hobby. And I saw someone using it, and I thought, oh, I have to have it. And my darling husband went out and got it for me. And I used it, I think, once, because my problem is, one, the sides here are too thin for me. And I was dumping too many, because it's a wider tray, you can put quite a few drills in there. But I was always spilling them because these walls were a little bit too short for me. My fingers would get tired from holding it like this. It just is not made for my hand. It's so wide that my hand would get fatigued really fast. And then also the ridges here on the inside that separate the drills just are not tall enough for my taste. They're a little bit too thin. And so I feel like the drills slide around too much. And so I just ended up not using it. Now, I don't want to discourage anyone if you think this would be an awesome tool. There are things about it that I very much like, and that is the dome and the stopper, and I love the little broom that it comes with. But it just ended up being something that I didn't really use. And this one is listed on Wilson 3D Designs Etsy shop for $11.99. And again, I will put a link in the description below to all of these trays that I'm talking about. So then after that, I tried a couple of different 3D printed ones. And one of the ones that I tried was from also from Wilson 3D Designs, which I did not realize at the time. I wanted something that was stackable because I thought I was going to be using stackable ones. And so I went and looked to see who had what, and they had these. So this is their silk white, and it is a stackable with a lid. So you get two of these trays and a lid, and they all stack. Now they have these lovely little finger spots on the sides, and they also have the stoppers in them, if I can get it out. And then they stack. They've got a little ridge on the bottom of them so that you can stack them together. They snap together like that. And then you can put the lid on them so that if you're, diamond painting and you have more than one of these stacks, then you can have several colors going at once and you don't have to worry about them falling all over your table. Now, for me, because these are 3D printed, there for me are just some really rough edges that I was not thrilled about. And for whatever reason, on the 3D printed ones that have these stoppers, it seems to be very difficult to get the stoppers in and out. Now, I know you want the stoppers to be tight because you don't want them to fall out, but when you've already got drills poured in here and then you're trying to fight with this to get it open, if you have a lid over it, then it would be okay, but you won't always, or I wouldn't always have a lid over it, and so I would end up spilling the drills everywhere. So for that reason, and then I just, again, kind of on the inside, for me, on the inside here, if you can look at, they've got lines, right? These are the little grid lines that are going to separate your drills. But the way that they've designed it, there's like a little space over here where sometimes things get caught, and a little space on this side where sometimes things get caught. And it's a little rough on the inside where they 3D printed it. It didn't get smoothed down as much as maybe I would have liked. So it works and they're okay, but they just were not working for me. So these particular ones, the stackable ones, you get a set of two with the lid for $24.99 on their Etsy shop. And they have lots of different colors. So if this is something that would interest you, then check out them. And again, the description will be, link will be in the description below. Okay, so then after that, I tried a place called My 3D Designs on Etsy. And I got a couple of different trays to try. They have one called the Arrow, and that's this one. because it's got this little bar here, and then it's got these so that you can pour the drills back in. So looking at the grid lines in here, again, they did a nice job of kind of smoothing out the inside, but this little bar section here that gets printed over, underneath it can be quite rough. And so sometimes the drills will get stuck on that roughness when you're trying to slide them out. And then also on these grid lines, you can see on this side, there's quite a bit of room, so there's not going to be any drills that get stuck. But over here on the edge, it's not quite big enough for a drill, but if a drill gets stuck on the edge, it might get stuck in there. So if you pour your drills in and shake them all about, suddenly the hokey pokey just ran through my head. So you can see they line up pretty nicely. But this one right here, you can see was trying to go down, but it's not large enough. That spot is not large enough. So then you tip them, and that one escaped. And then I'm going to pour them back in here. So you've got that nice little funnel, but you kind of have to tap it because, like I said, sometimes the drills can get caught underneath there. So the sides were higher. That was nice. I liked the funnel, but it just, again, was a bit rougher than I liked, and I had trouble with some of the drills getting caught. So this one didn't see a lot of use from me either. And this one was $8.25. The other one that I purchased from them was called the Left Pour, and they've got ones that are left-hand pour and right-hand pour. So this is left pour because I'm right-handed, so I'm going to pour this way most often. If you're left-handed, you can order them that have the spout on this side, so it makes more sense when you're left-handed. So again, taller walls here, and I was really looking forward to having this spout here. Now, it doesn't have a stopper, so I was going to need to take care of that and keep an eye on it, but I thought, again, I could just put my thumb over it. Same thing as with the gray one. This one, because this right here is 3D printed over the top, there were some, and still are, some kind of rough edges under here. And I understand that they get left because it's almost impossible to get under there to sand them all out. But that means that your drills can get stuck in there, unfortunately. So this one, the tray is a little bit better. You can see the ridges. It looks like there's going to be room on both sides of the ridges at the edges for drills to go in. So you pour your drills in, and again, you shake them all about. Oh Lord, I hope I'm not going to have the hokey pokey in my brain every time I shake drills from now on, because that'd be crazy. So, and again, some of this is not that the tray doesn't work. It just, my shaking technique does not work with this tray, I don't think. So, they don't all line up as nicely for me as I would want. So then you tip them, and you saw one just escaped. But that one is being obnoxious. And then you've got your spout here so that you can pour them all back in there. But again, and my husband and I did a little bit of sanding on our own once I got these to just kind of smooth them out as much as we could. But they just ended up not being my favorites. And this one is $11.75 from my 3D Designs. So I tried these two and I just didn't like them as much. So then I kept seeing everyone talking about Moony Made, and I thought, okay, I've got to get a Moony Made and try it. And I know you guys have seen, I've given away a couple of them. I actually have tried 3 or 4 of hers, including this one. Now, the ones that I've given as giveaways have been her large trays. This is a medium tray. And it, again, has the taller sides. And you can see she's got her Moony Made logo here, but it has the taller sides. And she has left room on both sides for drills. And the ridges on the inside are a nice height to get your drills separated. One of the things I did not like was this opening here. I feel like it's too big, and there's not really a good way to cover it up. She does sell tray stoppers, and I did not get one of those, but so I do think that her trays line up the drills nicely, but for me, on both the large and this tray, it just, trying to figure out how I could get things back in the containers without spilling everything everywhere. Or because I knock my trays a lot when I'm actually diamond painting with my arm or my elbow or what have you. And so, and see, now you can see because this is wider over here, these have gotten stuck. So I have to go in and pull them out with my finger and then get them to come out. And that one got stuck in there. And again, you know, it's not always necessarily the fault of the tray that some of the drills get stuck. Sometimes it's just that the drills get stuck on the plastic, I think. But after trying the Moony Made ones, I don't do enough big ones with color blockings that the large trays made a lot of sense for me. I tried them. They didn't fit me. I know lots of people love her trays. So if you think that these would be perfect for you, they seem to be perfect for a lot of people. So, you know, go ahead and try it if you haven't already. And like I said, she also has the larger ones that are more about this big rather than this size. This is the medium. So I tried those and I didn't like those. Now, I don't remember how much the small ones are, but I want to say the large ones are like $10, $12 somewhere in there. I know she has translucent ones now that are a couple of dollars more, so it might be like $12, $14, depending on whether you get a solid color like this or the translucent ones. But check her out if you haven't already. And then the very last ones I tried are ones that, again, I had heard people talking about over and over and over, and I just hadn't managed to get my hands on them because they sell out so quickly. Just FYI, they have their own website, and I think most Sundays is when they restock. So if you check on Sunday, and they have a calendar on their website, so you can go check out their calendar and see what's going to be available when. And they do try to also ask their customers, you know, if you have a bunch of them, don't order particular sets so that more people have a chance at them. I just happened on the website one Sunday, they happen to have a couple of colors left, and so I jumped on them because I wanted to try them. And they had left their yellow and this purple set. And I want to say the yellow was like 26 and this was 27. Again, I will put links in the description below to these. This is their stackable tray set, and you get one large tray and two small trays, and they all come with lids. Now, I will say, for me, these have become my absolute favorite for a couple of reasons. One, they're 3D printed, but they're extremely smooth. I don't know if it's the filament they're using or if they just really make sure, you know, I don't know if it has to do with the kind of printer that they're using. I don't know. But as someone who's played around with a 3D printer, and we have a 3D filament printer as well as a 3D resin printer in my home. I've tried a bunch of different things. For ones that I've purchased, these so far are hands down my favorite. I think they do a really good job. You can see the ridges in here are nicely spaced. They're tall enough that they separate your drills nicely. It does have a spout so that you can pour, but it's not a very big spout. And they've done a good job of making sure that there's not a lot of plastic pieces kind of hanging on underneath so that things pour out really nicely. So you pour them into the tray. And I also have discovered that I prefer lighter colors because I feel like I see the drills better on the lighter color trays. So you can see, if I can get these all down there, how nicely they line up in here. So let me get this in frame so you can see how nicely they line up. And then when you're ready, you can either put the lid back on while you tamp them all down to the bottom, or you can just leave it like that, and then you've got this nice little spout. Now, you can make them spill, as I did, if they get above that, but typically I try to pour about the amount in there that I think I'm going to need. Now, I will say that sometimes drills do get stuck in here, and you kind of have to bang them a little bit to get them out, but that seems to decrease the more that you use the tray. So there is that. So that was the large size, and it's got little grooves on here so that you can slide this cover in, and you could leave drills in there if you wanted to. And then it stacks nicely with these small ones. And these small ones, again, my last couple of diamond paintings, I've used this little tray exclusively. And you can see how nicely they line up. And then when I'm ready to put them back in, I can put them back in. Now, I will say also, this small tray, it does seem that this edge right here, not this side, but this side, for whatever reason, it does tend to trap drills. So you will have to knock those out of there. If you put your lid on, though, and you give it a pretty good tap, then those should come loose. I'm just lazy and I don't ever remember to put my lid on, typically because I have the lid somewhere else away from where I'm diamond painting. And these were, I want to say, like I said, the yellow was 26 and this one was 27. So I don't know if the colors have something to do with the price. I don't know, because these were the exact same other than the color. So, but that was what they had and I wanted to try them, so I got them. So, yeah, there you go, guys. There's my trays. And I would encourage you, like I said, to just go out and kind of search around and see which ones make the most sense for you, because I've tried a whole bunch of them that I thought I would like, and I ended up getting something else because even though lots of other people like them, they just didn't particularly work for me. And, you know, that's the thing, is this is kind of a personal hobby, and you want tools that help you work better and faster. So don't get hung up on, I've got to get this because this is the latest and greatest. Get what helps you do the work that you want to do. Because like I said, for a long time, this cheapo plastic one that I got for free in a kit somewhere was my go-to until I found the ones that I like the best. So, and I tried on a lot of frogs to find my little prince there. So, I hope this was helpful, guys, for you to kind of see all the different variations that are out there for diamond painting trays, because goodness knows this is not even the tip of the iceberg for the number of trays that you could find. This is just my small selection of what I personally have tried. So, like I said, you know, if you see something that you think you would like, go for it. I know there are people making resin trays. I know there are tons of people on Etsy doing little cute shaped trays. You know, do whatever you feel best doing. This is a hobby about making you feel good. So if you like having a fancy tray that matches every kit, go for it. If you're like me and you would prefer just to find one and stick with it for everything, do that. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Again, I will put links in the description below to the various trays that I actually purchased. Ones like these you get free in kits, so you just kind of have to keep your eyes peeled for those. But there you go, my comparison of trays. Before you go, guys, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads like these. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.